All right, so buckle up because today we are diving headfirst into a platform that lets you, get this, build and explore virtual worlds.
Yeah.
You heard that right. It's called CoSpaces EDU, and get this thing works on pretty much any device you can think of, computers, tablets, even phones. I mean, it sounds deceptively simple for what it does, right?
Definitely does.
And that's what we're going to unpack today, especially for, those of you out there who are interested in using this thing in education.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about CoSpaces EDU is it's not just about like learning about virtual spaces, right?
Yeah.
It's about actually learning inside of them, which is a whole other world of possibilities.
So instead of being stuck with like flat images in a textbook, we're talking about like interactive three-dimensional environments.
Exactly.
Tell me more. This is really cool.
Yeah, so this CoSpaces edu.pou.pdf.
Yeah.
It's a guide that we have.
Right.
It explains how teachers can actually use CoSpaces EDU to design these like crazy immersive experiences. So think about building a virtual museum for your history class,
Oh, wow.
complete with artifacts that students can actually virtually pick up and examine.
And did I hear right that this includes like virtual reality, VR, and even augmented reality, AR?
Yeah, yeah.
For those who might not be familiar, VR is like you're stepping into another world, right?
Right.
AR is kind of like it overlays digital elements onto our real world.
Exactly.
So you're saying teachers can create both with CoSpaces EDU?
It's not just about, viewing on a screen. You can actually, using something like, I think they mentioned Xiaomi Mio VR glasses
Right.
in this CoSpaces 01.mp3 audio that we have,
Okay.
students can actually experience these spaces as if they were there.
Wow.
Can you imagine like
Yeah.
a virtual field trip to ancient Rome,
Oh my God.
walking through the Colosseum as gladiators did?
Ah, okay, you had me at virtual Coliseum. That's amazing. But so I have to ask though, like, how difficult is it to actually create these immersive experiences?
That's the beauty of it. It's actually designed to be incredibly user-friendly.
Okay.
So the .pdf guide we have, it actually walks teachers through the process,
Yep.
like step by step. And it even has this great example of building a virtual zoo for like an English lesson, right?
So, wow.
So imagine students learning about animal habitats. Maybe they're doing some writing descriptions, and then they actually get to bring those animals to life in their virtual zoo.
So we're not just talking about like dropping in pre-made elements. Like teachers and students can really get creative and customize these environments.
Absolutely. It's like building with digital Legos. You can add animals, backgrounds, interactive quizzes, you name it, and it gets even cooler. You can incorporate actions and sound.
Wait, hold on. Actions and sounds. So like you're saying you could program a lion's roar to play when someone gets close to the enclosure in this virtual zoo.
Exactly. And you can even record your own voice, like to guide students through the experience, or even use a tool. I think it was called https.soundofftext.com. It was mentioned in the .pdf
Real.
to turn text into speech.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Talk about like bringing learning to life. I mean, it's one thing to read about a lion, right? It's a whole other experience to actually hear it roar when you're like virtually right there,
Yeah.
a few feet away. But, we keep talking about this from the teacher's perspective, right?
Right.
What's it actually like for the student using CoSpaces?
Well, that CoSpaces 01.mp3 audio, it actually gives us a really good, a good glimpse into that student experience.
Okay.
So imagine you're a student, phone in hand, and you open up this CoSpaces EDU app. And the audio describes the design as very intuitive.
Gotcha.
You've got your directional buttons for navigating around, a jump button, because, who doesn't love to jump around, right?
Right, exactly.
And you can swipe to control your view, just like you would in a game.
Okay, so no complicated controls. Even like younger students could like pick this up and jump right in.
Precisely. And remember how we talked about VR?
Yeah.
That same phone, that's their VR screen.
Wow.
They just slot it into a headset like those Xiaomi Mi VR glasses,
Okay.
and boom, they are immersed in this environment.
I'm really curious about that transition, going from looking at a phone screen to like feeling like you're in the environment.
Yeah.
What's that like for the student?
So the CoSpaces 01.mp3 audio actually describes a student exploring a virtual Roman house
Wow.
in VR. And they talk about feeling transported to this forest wonderland.
Really?
How the details were so vivid, and how even the cursor in their headset view became this tool for like interacting with objects.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, it's one thing to read about a Roman house in a textbook, right?
Right.
But it's a whole other level of engagement to feel like you're standing there, looking
Yeah.
around, picking up objects.
Exactly. And it's not limited to history. Imagine like exploring the human body from the inside,
Oh, wow.
shrinking down to the size of a cell, navigating through the bloodstream,
Oh, my God.
or taking a virtual dive into the ocean to swim alongside whales. I mean, the possibilities, they're kind of endless.
This is really blowing my mind, but we focused a lot on kind of the individual experience, right?
Right.
What about using this in a classroom setting?
Sure.
Can teachers create like collaborative projects in CoSpaces EDU?
Absolutely. The PodEF mentions that teachers can actually create virtual classrooms within CoSpaces.
Oh, cool.
So they can assign specific projects to individual students or groups. They can, provide feedback and track their progress, just like they would with a traditional assignment,
Right.
but with that, that added layer of interactivity and engagement.
So it's not just about creating these like amazing virtual spaces. It's about having the tools to like manage them within an actual learning environment, which makes a lot of sense. But, let's be realistic for a moment. This sounds like a pretty robust platform.
Yeah.
Is there a free version? Like, how does pricing work for CoSpaces EDU?
So you are right. They do offer a robust set of features.
Okay.
And as for cost, the .pdf mentions a 30-day professional trial.
Okay.
So this gives educators a chance to really, kind of explore the platform's capabilities
Oh, nice.
before committing.
A trial period. That's
Yeah.
always good to hear. So what are the key differences between like the trial and the paid version?
So during the trial, educators get access to, a wider range of features than the standard free version.
Oh, okay.
So this includes like unlimited resources for building,
Wow.
the ability to connect with up to 99 students.
That's a lot.
Imagine the possibilities for collaborative projects,
That's amazing.
and even the option to create multiple virtual classrooms.
Wow.
And they even provide a handy pricing comparison chart in the .pdf.
Oh, that's great.
So you can see, which plan best suits your needs.
That's incredibly useful. It sounds like they've really like thought about how to make this accessible for educators.
Wow.
Wow, this has been quite the deep dive. I feel like, we've covered a ton of ground here.
We have.
But for those of you listening along, let's just quickly recap. Like,
Yeah.
why is CoSpaces EDU worth checking out?
So I think it really boils down to accessibility and versatility. Right.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about a platform that allows both teachers and students to create these like really dynamic, interactive learning experiences.
Right.
And they don't need a degree in coding to do it,
Right.
And this isn't just about making learning, more fun.
Yeah.
Although it certainly does that. It's about tapping into the power of like immersive tech
Right.
to make education, really stick, to make it feel relevant to like the world we live in.
That's so important. I mean, it's clear that, the line between the physical and the digital is like blurring more and more every day.
Yes.
Tools like CoSpaces EDU aren't some like far off vision of the future of education. This is very much, part of the present.
Yeah, and that kind of brings up, a really fascinating question, which is how might these immersive experiences like reshape how we learn and teach?
Wow.
Like how might it change our very understanding of what education can be?
It's something to really, really ponder. I mean, if we can explore ancient Rome, the human body, even like completely fictional worlds, right?
Oh.
All from our classrooms.
Right.
I mean, what does that mean for the limitations that we've like placed on learning in the past?
Exactly.
It's incredibly exciting. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for exploring with us.